We're going to review mean, median, and quartiles. Let me start with the median. Find the median for each data set. So what I need to do, first of all, write my numbers in order from small to large. So I have all my numbers in order from small to large. Then let me count how many numbers I have. I see there's 17 numbers in my data, so I need to cut this in half. 17 is not an even number. So to make it even, let me subtract 1. So it gives me 16. 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. So let me draw a line such that I have 8 numbers on each side of my line. I'm going to draw this line. I happen to have 8 numbers on each side. That number where my line went through, that number that it went through, that's the median. Median basically means the number in the middle. So the median in this case is 49. Let me take a look at number 14. When we're looking at this type of data, I'm not looking at the numbers here at the bottom. I'm looking at the numbers on the left. Notice how the first graph goes up right in between 1.6 and 1.8, right in between it. I'm going to say that is 1.7. The second one goes all the way to 2. So I'm looking at the numbers on the left. This one is 1.7, 1.8, 1.8, and so on. Right? I can easily get a number for each of my bars. Now let me put my numbers in order from small to large. So I put all my numbers in order from the smallest to the largest. I count how many numbers I have, how many bars I have. There's 14 of them. 14 is an even number. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So let me draw a line such that I have 7 numbers on each side of my line. So I drew that line. I have 7 numbers on each side of the line. Now, if my line went through a number, I will say that's the median. It went through a number. In this case, it doesn't. It goes in between 2 numbers. Now, my question is, what number is right in between 1.6 and 1.6? The median. If I cannot think of it, all I'm going to do is I'm going to add those 2 numbers and divide it by 2. Right, 1.6 plus 1.6 is 3.2. 3.2 divided by 2 gives me 1.6. That's on the median. Median means in the middle, right? Now let's review mean. For the mean, I don't have to put my numbers in order. I just have to add my numbers. So I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to add my numbers. I have 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4. Notice I have 2 4s. Then I have 6 5s, 2 7s, 2 8s, 2 9s, and 1 11. So I'm going to add all my numbers. I added my numbers and gave me 102. Let me see how many numbers I have. I can easily count my dots. There's 17 of them. So what I'm going to do is add all the numbers. In my result, I'm going to divide it by how many numbers I have. So I added my numbers, 102, divided by 17 gives me 6. So the mean in this case, 6. Now let's take a look at number 16. I don't have to put them in order for mean. I just have to add all my numbers. I'm going to grab my calculator. I'm going to add all my numbers, and it happens to give me 499.9. So I added all my numbers. Let me see how many numbers there are. There's 15 numbers. So my result, remember, first I add all my numbers. I'm going to divide it by 15 because there's 15 numbers. So 499.9 divided by 15 gives me a big decimal. I'm going to run it to 2 decimal places. So let me take a look at my third decimal place. My third decimal place is big enough. What I call big enough is 5 or more. That 6 is big enough. So what it's going to do, going to bring the previous number 1 up. I'm going to use 2 decimal places. But remember my 2, I'm going to move 1 up. So my answer should be 33.33. That 2 at the end, I brought it 1 up, so that's how I ended with a 3 at the end. So that's the mean. Now let me review interquartile range. Now, first of all, I don't need the numbers at the bottom. I'm comparing with the numbers on the left. My first bar goes up to 6, then it's 5, then it's 7, then it's 6, then it's 7. And I can easily get a number for each of my bars. I'm comparing it with the number on the left. Let me put my numbers in order from small to large. I put all my numbers in order from small to large. Let me start by counting how many numbers I have. I happen to have 14 of them. 14 is an even number. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So let me draw a line such that I have 7 numbers on each side of my line. This line that we just did, we call it median, but I can also call it quarter 2. Think of it as a game. When you guys are watching games, basketball, football, those games that have it in quarters, halftime, right in the middle. What's that? That's the end of quarter 2. So my median, I'm also going to call it quarter 2. So now on the first half, I have 7 numbers. 7 is not an even number, so let me subtract 1 to make it even. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now let me draw a line such that I have 3 numbers on each side. That line is quarter 1. Looking at the other side, I have 7 numbers again. Remember, 7 minus 1 is 6, because I want to make it even. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Let me draw a line such that I have 3 numbers on each side of my line. That line, I'm going to call it quarter 3. The end of the game is quarter 4. I don't need quarter 4 in this case. For the interquartile range, all I'm asking is how much is quarter 3 minus quarter 1? So I'm asking here, how much is 7 minus 5? My result, I should just see 2. All right, let's take a look at number 18. Let me write my numbers in order from small to large. I notice I have 17 numbers. Now 17 is not an even number. Let me subtract 1 to make it even. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So let me draw a line such that I have 8 numbers on each side. So I'm going to draw this line, and this is what we called median or quarter 2. All right, so on the left of my line, I have 8 numbers. 8 numbers, 8 is an even number, right? Divided by 2, the half of 8 is 4. So let me draw a line such that I have 4 numbers on each side of my line. This is what we're going to call quarter 1. On the other half, what I mean with other half is this. There's 8 numbers as well, right? Half of 8 is 4. So let me draw a line such that I have 4 numbers on each side of my line. And that is what I'm going to call quarter 3. So now, let me just grab my calculator, because I noticed that my line did not go through a number exactly. I don't know what I have for quarter 1. It goes in between 28.3 and 30. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add those two numbers, 28.3 plus 30. And my result, I'll divide it by 2. 28.3 plus 30 is 58.3. 58.3 divided by 2 gives me 29.15. Now, quarter 3, it doesn't go through a number. It goes in between 2 numbers. I need to figure out what quarter 3 is, right? Which is the number right in between 34.8 and 36. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my numbers. 34.8 plus 36. According to my calculator, I get 70.8 divided by 2. That gives me 35.4. Okay, so my interquartile range, all I'm asking is quarter 3 minus quarter 1. Quarter 3 is 35.4 minus quarter 1 is 29.15. That gives me 6.25.